In the month of August and September, a lot of stocks were heavily discounted. There was a big sell-off in August and it continued into September. I think for the remainder of the year, I expect that some stocks are really going to rise. And one of those stocks that I think is going to rise is Stoneco. The reason for it is that the company is a good high growth company. They operate down in Brazil as essentially a PayPal down in Brazil. They've been growing at 20 plus revenue, which is excellent. They generate free cash, which is great. And I really like my investment in Stoneco. I wanted to update my analysis on the company, see what I think the company is worth, and then share with you what I plan to do, whether I plan to buy more shares, hold, or sell my shares. Before I go there, can you please like my video and subscribe to my channel if you like videos like these? Also, please provide comments. I'd love to hear what you think on Stoneco, what you plan on doing with the stock, and would love to get that type of collaboration going within the community. Now let's talk about Stoneco. So the world is getting more digitized and people are getting really comfortable paying for their stuff and their purchases with a credit card or even with digital currencies. You think about Venmo and things like that. Now, everything that happens in the US tends to kind of be ahead of the curve as you compare it to the world in many cases. One of them is the whole digital payment processing. PayPal and Visa, MasterCard, we obviously have been doing that here in the US for some time. But down in Brazil, there's a huge addressable market of, small businesses, micro businesses that could really thrive if they have a digital payment format. And that's exactly where Stoneco really operates, is providing a lot of small businesses down in Brazil the ability to accept digital payments. It makes it more convenient for the customer if they could pay with their credit card or the debit card. It also offers them a little bit of credit so they could buy the things that they'd like to buy. As we head into the holidays, I really like their business model. I think they're going to do well. And I like the diversification down in Brazil. This is the only company down in Brazil that I own. And it's nice to diversify my portfolio internationally with a really good quality company like Stoneco. I'm a big fan of growing companies, and Stoneco has certainly been a high growth company. They've gone from $408 million back in 2018 up to 1.8 billion in the last completed full year. So that's just phenomenal growth. They continue to grow each quarter by over 20%. I think they're forecasting to grow 23%. As they get larger, it's going to be harder to grow at those really, really high percentage rates. But as long as they continue to grow, be profitable, and generate free cash, I will be a happy investor. I think Stoneco is discounted by 66%. I believe the stock is really worth about $17.76, but the stock market will sell you shares at $10.67. The valuation that I come up with is really based on free cash flows, the cash flows that I expect the company is going to produce over the next 4 years, and then all the cash flows after year 4, which is in the terminal value. If I take all those free cash flows, discount by a very high weighted average cash capital, I get an intrinsic value of those cash flows of 5.5 billion. I add the cash on the balance sheet, take away debt to get to a 6.5 equity value on the company. Market cap's at 3.3 billion. So it offers up a really nice discount, 67%. If you look at the cash flows that Stoneco's producing, discount those free cash flows based on a really high weighted average cost of capital. The earnings per share keep getting better, by the way. Last time I did a video on this was a little bit lower, but it's increased. I'm going to put a PE at 24, which is very reasonable. If you look at Visa, MasterCard, those are really high PEs. This PE is nice and low at 24 for a growth company. And if I use those figures, that earnings per share, that PE, and a growth rate of 5%, which is reasonable for a company like this, I get a stock price value of $17.65. Again, you can buy shares on the street for $10.67. So it offers up a 65% discount. Blended, it's a 66% discount on Stoneco, high growth company. They have more cash than they do debt. So I consider their balance sheet healthy, since they can pay off their debts and still have lots of cash left over. Year to date, Stoneco is up 26%, which is still very good. The last 2 months, along with a lot of growth stocks, the stock's been really sold off and it's been discounted. It was in the mid $14 range down to $10.67. So it's really come down over the last 2 months. I think that's an attractive, proposition where a good quality company that's growing has been discounted, because I see a lot of value between the value of the company that I estimate and the current stock price. I follow a consistent process as I evaluate stocks and companies, and that process involves 4 questions followed by the decision to buy, hold, or sell. And the first question is, do I want to be an owner in the company? Do I want to be part owner? And do I like the industry? And the answer is yes. I really think fintech is a really good space to be in. And I like being diversified in the Brazilian economy. The company is very well operated. Management's doing a really good job focusing on the most profitable aspects of the company. Debt, they have more cash and they do debt. So I'm going to give them a good solid check mark there, and a really nice discount, especially over the last 2 months since the stock has been discounted. So I'm going to continue to buy shares in Stoneco and continue to accumulate this stock. Hey, thanks for watching the video. I hope you found it interesting. Would love to hear from you. Please provide comments on Stoneco. Would love to hear what you think of the company, where you think they're going, where the stock price ought to be. Do me a favor, like the video and subscribe to the channel if you like videos like these. Good luck investing in 2023.